defeated the politics of appeasement practiced by certain parties that shockingly allowed for a law to remain on the books that privileged the rights of one community over all others. By late tonight, viewers, the government will have the numbers to amend the Waqf Act of 1995. The Waqf Act of 1995 allowed Waqf to arbitrarily take over lands of other communities, and even the government. Imagine, thanks to Congress governments and Congress-supported coalition governments, the Waqf boards had gained so much arbitrary power that they even claimed that the land on which the Supreme Court, viewers, and Parliament are situated belong to the Waqf. I'm not misleading you. Under the UPA, the Urban Development Ministry prepared a draft cabinet note to denotify 123 properties in Lutyens, Delhi, and to transfer ownership rights to the Delhi Waqf Board. A total of 61 of these properties were owned by the central government. And do you know something? The transfer was done in March 2014. A night, yes, one night before the Model Code of Conduct came into effect, before the Lok Sabha election that brought Modi into power. Can you believe it, viewers? Incredible that even government land was given to the Waqf. For what? For votes. What else? Over 75 years of Waqf gluttony, blessed by pseudo-secular parties like the Congress, ensured that the Waqf became the third largest owner in the country after the military and the railways of Indian land. Even Hindu temples that predated Islam were gobbled up. How can that be possible, viewers? The Waqf Act of 1995 made it almost impossible for members of the Hindu, Christian, Sikh and other communities to fight to retrieve their lands by moving the civil courts. It allowed the Waqf boards to judge their own cases. And viewers, in perpetuity, in fact, viewers, in my hand is an entire bunch of research that I have been doing over the last few days. And do you know, in 1995, thanks to the Congress government of P.V. Narasimha Rao, properties donated by non-Muslims for Waqf purposes fell under the Waqf Act. Now viewers, how does this work? Today, the Modi government has taken another step in withdrawing the special status accorded to one community. It has ended, in its own words, quote, land jihad, unquote, propelled by the politics of appeasement. These are none of my words, viewers. These are government ministers using such phraseology. But as I told you, you might disagree with the phraseology, but you cannot disagree with the facts that gave Waqf the powers to act arbitrarily, grab lands of non-Muslims. Listen in, viewers.
मान्यवर, ये जो भ्रम खड़ा किया जाता है कि ये एक मुस्लिम भाइयों के धार्मिक क्रियाकलापों के अंदर, उनके दान की हुई संपत्ति के अंदर दखल करने का है, ये बहुत बड़ी भ्रांति फैलाकर, माइनॉरिटी को डराकर अपनी वोट बैंक खड़ी करने के लिए किया जा रहा है। कि सारे ट्रस्ट के चैरिटी कमिश्नर अलग अलग देश तोड़ दोगे आप लोग।
वक्फ बोर्ड का उद्देश्य मुस्लिम समुदाय के कल्याण के लिए संपत्तियों का प्रबंधन करना था, लेकिन कांग्रेस और उसके सहयोगी दलों ने इस भूमि को अपारदर्शी और एक गैर जिम्मेदाराना तरीके से राजनीतिक संरक्षण देते हुए एक ऐसा साम्राज्य बनाया जहां पे इन्होंने इसको अपना वोट बैंक का एटीएम बनाकर रख दिया है। 70 सालों से इन्होंने यही किया है। 1947 में भारत ने एक विभाजन देखा है, वो एक परिवार और एक पार्टी के कारण वो विभाजन हुआ है। आज जमीन जिहाद, लैंड जिहाद के नाम पर हम दूसरा विभाजन नहीं होने देंगे, नहीं होने देंगे।
Of course, this isn't the first time that Parliament has voted to strike down the consequences of Muslim first appeasement politics. Vote against abrogation of Article 370 ended a cleverly orchestrated attempt to privilege Muslims in the Kashmir Valley. So much so that they were beyond the remit of several laws applicable to the rest of us. The passage of the bill outlined triple talaq ensured that millions of Muslim women could be saved from the clutches of Sharia-enabled law and seek refuge in civil law, which is applicable to all Indians. Viewers, who brought in these laws? Who perpetuated the conditions for Sharia to apply? The Congress party, viewers, and its ecosystem. And beyond Parliament, other organs of the state are also overturning decisions that allowed for special entitlements for one community. The Supreme Court struck down the Hajj subsidy program. The construction of the Ram temple on the back of a historic judgment ended an attempt to use the levers of the state to perpetuate the occupation of the Ram Janambhoomi. Let's get some reactions to some important questions. Is there no sanctity in this country for a law made by the will of people reflected through Parliament? If Parliament has laid down a law, you can't challenge it on the streets. You can't threaten Shaheen Bagh kind of agitations. Go to the courts. That's what they're there for. Viewers, but if you hear the opposition, they're not only wanting to reject the Waqf bill by voting against it in Parliament, though they won't be able to because they don't have the numbers, but they want to come out onto the streets. Second question, what's secular about a statutory body set up by the writ of Parliament being exclusively reserved for Muslims? 3. If there was no land grab, explain how between 1913 and 2013, the Waqf board had 18 lakh square hectares of land, but after 2013 amendment, it claimed 30 lakh more square hectares of land. How did that happen, viewers? Clearly because in 2013, as I told you, the Congress gave it even more powers to claim lands that didn't even belong to Muslims. Why did the ecosystem of so-called secular parties make it virtually impossible for non-Muslims to appeal the decision of the Waqf board in court? Viewers, this is palpably illegal. Each Indian citizen must have the right for redressal in court. How can you stop that basic right? Viewers, this is really the end of appeasement politics as we know it. There is other work to be done. I'm not saying that there are no other legislations. But the Modi government has shown that even when the BJP does not have a majority of its own, it can grasp the nettle and push through tough reforms. Viewers, let's open this up. Let's ask some fundamental question. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow of the IPCS, is here with us. Smita Prakash, Editor of ANI. Kamru Chaudhary, Political Activist. Tariq Khan, Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. There are others. Kausar Jahan is there. And of course, the National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Tuhin Sinha, who comes very, very researched, viewers. We have a good panel. Let's do it justice tonight, viewers. And I hope the panelists won't speak over each other because there's lots to learn tonight. And I want to first begin with one gentleman. And he represents the Samajwadi Party, outspoken national spokesperson of that party, Tariq Khan. Mr. Khan, look, I know that you also come prepared. I know you're going to read, but can you answer me this one question? What, and this is a question that I have to ask you because it is the element of the objections you have. You say that non-Muslims should not be appointed to the Waqf board. Now the Waqf is set up, my dear man, through the writ of Parliament. It's a statutory body. Are you saying in this country, bodies that are set up by the government cannot represent the diversity of this country?
Okay. Can I speak?
Yeah, please, of course, sir.
The same body is being called by Yogi Adityanath and Bhu Mafia. So these bodies are mafia. It has been said by Yogi Adityanath. Now it's not a Muslim organization, it's a statutory body. It has been said by the minister today and by the MPs as well. Now, let me expose you that you said wrong. Let me expose Kiren Rijiju, what he said in the parliament. Okay, he said that Waqf board claimed that parliament land is their land. Now, what, and you have government of Delhi has a BJP government. Now, what CEO of Waqf board has said, I am just reading out. Waqf board has made claim on several bodies including parliament complex. The board CEO said he did not know about any such claim and would have to verify it, while another official said that minister's statement was not true. No, that was the claim made by Badruddin Ajmal. Badruddin Ajmal, the former MP from Assam, and that land of parliament is a Waqf land, was a claim of Badruddin Ajmal, just like that today I'll claim that News18 office is the property of Tariq. It doesn't make any sense. Point number one. Point number two, I have a question to BJP spokesperson, and then I'll keep my mouth shut and I'll give 10 seconds. With a couplet of Wasim Barelvi साहब, इस उम्मीद पे मैं डूबा कि तू बचा लेगा, ढलेगा दिन तो हर एक अपना रास्ता लेगा. दिन ढल गया और हर एक अपना रास्ता ले भी रहा है. उसके बाद आपने, you said that this is उम्मीद. I am just asking BJP person, please give me the full form of this उम्मीद. I'll keep my mouth shut now. Please give me the full form. What is the full form of this ummid? Please.
Viewers, what was the
I'm
question?
asking what is the full form
No,
of
one
this
second,
ummid?
one second, sir, please. What was the question that
I
was
don't
asked
know
of?
the full form
One
of this
second,
ummid.
Mr. Tariq Khan, please.
What is the bill? What is
One
the name
second,
of the
sir, it
bill?
doesn't
I'm
matter.
asking BJP. They
It
must
doesn't
not
matter.
declare
That's
it.
not relevant. And I'll bring in any
matter.
case, I'll bring in the
It's
BJP
matter. It's
spokesperson.
matter.
He'll
That's
respond
why
to you.
I'm
But one
asking.
second, viewers.
I'm
The question.
asking you as well.
No,
I'm
no. The
asking you
question
as
is.
well.
The
I'm
question
asking you
is.
as well. If
The
we can
question
respond
is. The question. Okay, Mr. Tariq
fully
Khan, listen.
allowed to- you are fully allowed to respond
my
to my
God.
question. What is the
Oh
full form
my
of this
God.
ummid? Please.
Oh my God.
I don't
Oh my
know.
God. Oh my God.
Acknowledge
Can you
me.
please? Can you please, sir?
I don't know what is the full
Tariq
form,
Khan,
please.
you don't need to know.
Please
It
read
doesn't
out.
matter. Can
I'll
I
keep my mouth
just
shut
come in here?
now.
Okay, listen, Tariq Khan, this is
What
not
is the
fair. You
full
can't be
form?
speaking over each other. Please. Let's maintain a certain decorum.
No, I'll keep
My
my
point
mouth
is,
shut.
viewers.
I'm just asking what is the full form.
My point is, viewers, the question is simple. The objections are not being raised by Rahul Shivshankar in Parliament tonight. They are being raised by the Samajwadi Party. They believe that the Waqf should not have non-Muslim members on it. The point is that the Waqf is overseeing today properties that don't belong to Muslims. And it has been set up by an act of parliament. So I want to understand, yes, of course I will. I want to understand from Tariq Khan, and he's evaded this completely. How can a government mandated organization, body, not reflect the diversity of this country? How can it be an exclusive preserve of one community? And how is that not, viewers, a two-nation mindset? I don't understand it. I was hoping Tariq Khan could explain, but he cannot explain. So he comes up with asking for things that, viewers, you just have to read on top of the bill. It says what Umeed means. It's 101 GK. I'm not even going to dignify this. I was asking a very specific question. This is, as we know, the end of appeasement politics. Preferential treatment, Muslim first treatment, preferential treatment to one particular community. Who's responsible for this, viewers? For this anarchy? No one is going to answer. And if someone wants to strike down something that is not in consonance with the articles of the Constitution, they say it's an assault on Muslims. Viewers, you bake your cake and have it too. Anyhow, yes, you want to respond. BJP national spokesperson wants to respond. Ayyar Mitra comes in next. Yeah.
Good evening. Yeah. Good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. Let me begin by specifying why it is an imperative to include non-Muslims in this body. Number one, please don't compare it with any temple management institution, because no Hindu temple management institution has claimed or usurped land belonging to, some other community. Waqf board is purely a real estate management body. It's a property management body. And when you have the body claim land belonging to, Tiruchendarai, where a 1500-year-old temple has existed, if, Waqf Board claims the entire village to belong to it. When Waqf Board claims a village in Haryana where a 400-year-old Gurudwara has existed, when it claims land belonging to its own in Kerala, which belongs to the Christian community, of course you need people representing other communities to successfully and, legitimately thwart those false claims, and that is why you need people from other communities. But even within the Muslim community, Aga Khan community had been ignored, the Bohra community had been ignored. Fact is, they are equally disturbed by the larger point over here. We have nullified the ill effects of Section 40 of the Waqf Act 1995, which was responsible for the unbridled land grab which the country has witnessed in the last 3 decades. And like you rightly mentioned, from 18 lakh square hectares, the total Waqf property has increased to over 49 lakh square hectares in a span of 30 years. And I was shocked when you have a Kalyan Banerjee TMC representative say that, if Section 40 does not exist, Waqf Board does not make sense, which only gives out the real intent of these opposition parties. For them, Waqf Board was all about land grab, about land aggrandizement, which we have successfully circumvented. And what problem can anybody have with reforms such as making it more transparent, with better accounting, with technology being introduced in the working of it? So I think, the opposition stands completely exposed today. And of course, apart from Section 40, which we have nullified the impact of it, we have equally nullified the impact of the spurious legislation of 2013, which gave the right to, even non-Muslims
yes,
to
exactly.
donate
And that
property
happened in
to
2013.
All of these.
Tuin Khan is right. Allowed the Waqf Board to
These
claim
reforms-
properties of trusts or societies registered under laws, other laws, if deemed fit. Can you believe it, viewers?
Trust me, this particular Waqf
Mr. Khan.
Amendment Act, the repercussions of it is going to be so massive. It is actually going to end the social disharmony which was being abetted. And when he mentions Yogi ji never called the Waqf Board a Bhu Mafia. He said it had been operating like a Bhu Mafia in the last few
and
years,
by
which is a
people
fact.
who were behaving like Bhu Mafia. So let's be very careful in what we are saying. Tonight, viewers, there's going to be an attempt, let me tell you, whether it's Kamru Chaudhary or others, to play the victim card. And Smita Prakash will answer because she takes a longer view on politics, on where this has come from, who empowered the Waqf Board. So Smita Prakash, let me come out to you. Ayyar Mitra is there also. Important questions need to be answered tonight. Smita Prakash, I want to ask you, how is it that after or around 2013, the Waqf Board in 1952, for example, let me just give you some very hard facts. In 1954, when the Act was promulgated, non-Muslims were on the board. No problems. Right up till 1995, P.V. Narasimha Rao. For all those years, do the math, 50 years or whatever it is, 40 years, it was okay, it was kosher.
Rahul, I think couple of points that I wanted to make. One was when the 2013 amendment, I'm going to come to that. But before that, you said that with this, it's the end of appeasement policy. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I said that it is a step in the direction of appeasing, ending appeasement politics.
Correct. Okay, fine. Step in the direction, I grant that. But I don't think it's the end of appeasement policy. And I don't think that's done till the NRC is not brought about. I think that's one of the unfinished agendas on the Home Minister's plate. I'm presuming it is. It's something that he needs to do and he should have done earlier. And I think he will do it in this term since it didn't happen in the earlier term. On the 2013 amendment, I totally agree with you. It was a bizarre one. It needed change. And today, you were talking about Tuhin coming armed with facts. It's true, even in Parliament, you saw the entire BJP arsenal which came out, like they came out all guns blazing. And what they said was that aap desh todna chahte hain. Those were very strong. That's a very strong statement by a Home Minister to be said on the floor of the House. He's, like on triple talaq, like on CA, like on Article 370, he made it clear that these so-called flag bearers of the Muslim community had failed to represent the community, the good of the community, and they had not fathomed that the community was agitated, that they did not want these regressive laws. And that's why when these laws were changed, whether it was on CA, whether it was on 370, on triple talaq, you didn't see this khoon ki nadiyan, which some of these leaders had said. So I'm waiting to see what happens after this bill gets passed. The kind of bizarre statements that have been coming from so-called flag bearers of this community, that the minorities will lose their rights and people will
One
not
particular
accept-
minority. It's not as if anyone is bleeding for Christians. Ayyar Mitra,
correct.
isn't it? In Kerala, I mean, you come from the south, part of you is from there, you understand the equations there. We've had conversations in the past. In Kerala, the Christians are coming out, the church there, 2 of the churches have come out, the main churches have come out and said, listen, please, amend this. It's a problem for all of us. But the Congress has turned their backs on the church. Maybe it's because, the Christian vote is about 3-4%, and that too spread over state.
So Rahul, let me state what Yogi did not state. The Waqf is behaving like a mafia. It has been for a very, very long time. This has been remember, Muslim polity, specifically Sunni polity in this country, has ossified since 1857. It is feudal in nature, controlled by a few ashrafs, maybe 200,000 ashraf families, who go around dispensing feudal gifts to people as if it was their God-given right. They have a complete, absolute control over this land. They've been trying to expand their lands left, right, and center. They've got a very cozy group to which the proceeds of their crime get distributed. And so they maintain it like a closed mafia. Now, what are the elements of the Waqf bill? It's a digitization of land records. It is a scrutiny of acquisitions. It is no conflict clauses, all modern management principles being brought in. Are any of this anti-Islamic? Is there any injunction, is there any hadith which says you can't computerize land records? Is there any injunction that says you can't grab land? So why are they objecting to all of this? Understand, this entire edifice of criminality and nepotism, outright corruption, outright conflict of interest is coming to an end. And all the people caught with their fingers in the pie are getting very upset by this. God forbid a Muslim woman sits on the Waqf board. Women are 50% of the Muslim community. Why are they excluded from sitting on the Waqf boards? Why are Pasmandas excluded from the Waqf boards? So you have casteism out there. You have misogyny out there. Now remember, the Prophet himself, peace be upon him, was completely in support of women having property and running their own business. His first wife, Khadija, was an extremely powerful businesswoman. She was the first convert to Islam. Now, when the Prophet himself does not believe all of this, how are all these retrograde types coming and telling us that they know Islam better than the Prophet? They know management better than Steve Jobs or whatever, Elon Musk or whatever. They know the constitution better than the founders of the constitution. They know Islam better than the Prophet himself. Bhai wah, kya baat hai? This is all a callous, calculated attempt at protecting compound, institutionalized criminality and corruption. Nothing else. That's it.
Okay. Mr. Tariq Khan, quick response. I want to bring in Kamru Chaudhary. I want to bring in Kausar Jahan.
Okay. One thing is quite difficult for me to understand, and give me 30 seconds, I'll say that. Okay. Today, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, former minister, has said that by exercising fundamental right, Article 15, we have made provisions for women and for backward class, minorities, Pasmanda Muslim. Very good. Now, when the same thing has done by Kerala government by making a provision for backward Muslim, that you said, all the right winger has said that this is appeasement politics. Now, you are also doing the same thing. You are saying that Article 15 enabled you to make those provisions for backward Muslims. Now, when Karnataka does the same things, you said this is appeasement. When other states like Tamil Nadu and these states do the same thing, you said this is appeasement. You are doing the same thing. This is hypocrisy what you are doing.
Okay.
You are saying about Article 15,
Tuhin
Ravi
Sinha,
Shankar
respond
Prasad
please.
said the same
Tariq Khan
thing. We are
says there is
exercising
hypocrisy
Article
here.
15.
Mr.
You oppose,
Article 15 and
you
given-
oppose
and-
reservations
Mr.
for
Tariq
Muslims,
Khan-
but you have a,
Mr.
yeah, you know
Tariq Khan-
problems for Waqf,
Mr.
yes.
Tariq Khan is perhaps he's perhaps unaware of the fact that almost 10,000 legal cases upon Waqf board have been filed by poor Muslims whose lands, there are tons of issues, there are tons of corruption related issues within the Waqf board where Waqf property has been sold off by empowered members of the Waqf board discreetly and illegally, and the profits have been pocketed without informing all the stakeholders. There are almost 10,000 cases pending with regard to this. Is he aware of that? These people time and again prove that their only concern is the rich and the empowered Muslims. They have no concern for the poor Muslims.
And to
They have no
answer
concern
Mr.
for the
Tariq Khan
Aga
in
Khanis. They have
specifics,
no concern for the...
to answer Tariq Khan Sahab in
No,
specifics,
he's-
the opposition to, one second, to reservations, quotas for Muslims is because certain state governments have given reservations across the Muslim community without distinguishing on the criteria of need, demonstrated need and backwardness. So viewers, contractors are being given reservation by Karnataka in bidding for state contracts, as if all contractors are poor, indigent and backward. That is the issue, viewers. Amongst Hindus, all Hindus don't get reservations. The backward amongst the most backward too. That is what is being opposed, because governments like the Karnataka government have given full reservations to the extent of 4% to every Muslim. Yeah. Go ahead. Twin Sinha.
The problem is these people, why they are so flustered today is they realize even within the Muslim community, they are losing support because of these factors.
Okay, that's a whole different, thing. That's a whole different thing. I don't want to go there. Why they are, obviously they are rattled because the people that they had sponsored, the people that they had cosseted, the people that were benefiting from their largesse
do you recall
today will no longer be in a position.
Rahul, do you recall
and those are
how
the same people, the rich Muslims, viewers, who used to bring other Muslims flocking to the booth. So it was a very convenient, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back kind of equation. But anyhow, I just want to open this up.
Do you recall, Rahul, how Gaurav Gogoi,
Yes.
just 10 seconds if you allow me, do you recall how Gaurav Gogoi opened his comments? He said, BJP is so intolerant, it is not allowing Muslims to read namaz on the roads. For them, Muslim appeasement has been catering to the creamy section of Muslims, plus a whole lot of symbolism which has no relevance for the upliftment of the Muslim community, which the Muslim community also realizes.
Kausar Jan and Kamru Chaudhary.
That is the reason you have.
Fine. So you're saying this is blanket appeasement. We are ending blanket appeasement. Smita Prakash says you have to go a little greater distance. You have to do NRC. You have to do other stuff before you can lay that. But a beginning has been made. Okay. Let me bring in Kamru Chaudhary. Kamru Chaudhary. And this is a question that you need to answer, please. Why did the ecosystem of so-called secular parties like the Congress make it virtually impossible for non-Muslims to appeal the decisions of the Waqf board in court? This is a fundamental violation.
Yeah, Rahul, good evening. At the fag end of the debate, at least you have come to me. But first, I must congratulate you and the ecosystem for India making a one step down the dungeon to become a Hindu Pakistan. I don't mince my words tonight. And I will be very categorical in why I say this. I will cite one analogy and one example to expose the government on the hidden agenda behind this entire Waqf Amendment Bill. Point by point, clause by clause, our leaders in the opposition in the parliament have exposed the government on all the articles clause by clause, starting with Gaurav Gogoi's excellent speech in the parliament tonight. Now one thing let me just ask you, please don't get agitated and don't try to dog whistle others about it. The basic point that I wanted to bring out, the analogy first, would it be acceptable if temple gold was handed over to non-Hindu administrators with no accountability to the Hindu religious institutions? If not, why should Waqf properties dedicated for the welfare of the Muslim community be managed by those outside the faith? Point number one. Second point, when the Waqf bill says about the disputed properties clause, please read it. I don't want to read it once again and waste the time. What is the disputed property? Any property which has been disputed will not be declared and considered as Waqf till the dispute is being settled by a nominee of the government who seems to be the collector out here. We all know what happened during the Sambal Masjid repainting debate inside the court, wherein the lawyer Mr. Vishnu Jain wanted specifically in the order that the Sambal mosque be declared as disputed. Now come to the basic point out here. The government properties that the Act refers out here, what does that mean, the government property? That means all ASI protected monuments are government properties. Does it mean that all ASI protected monuments so far, irrespective of their religious character, be termed as not a Waqf? Is the government's hidden agenda this?
Okay.
Does it want to override the Places of Worship Act?
Okay, let's go with your last point first. This bill, one second. Let's go with one second. Now let me answer. You've raised three issues. You have questioned my facts. No, hang on. You've questioned my facts. Don't let me listen, Mr. Kamru Chaudhary. We can have this. We can have this debate. Let's be reasonable. Let's start with your last point. One second. This particular amendment. No, hang on. This particular amendment bill, viewers, is not with retrospective effect.
Yeah.
It's with prospective effect. So nothing in the past gets in any way.
Comes the
no, 1 second, please. Now, please, just 1 second, please.
Now, anybody
please, 1 second. Now, you can't allow me. Your first point. I think your first point was comparing the Tirumala Tirupati board and the decision of the Andhra CM to ensure that no others but Hindus are appointed to that board, and in this particular case, extending membership to the Waqf board to non-Muslims. You say this is a dichotomy. Now, viewers, let me be very honest with you. This gentleman doesn't even know the basics involved here. You see, viewers, the Waqf Act was set up by a writ of Parliament. It gets sanctity from Parliament. Waqf is a statutory body, so it doesn't come under Article 25 and 26. The Tirumala board, we are not talking about the HR and CE board, viewers. We are talking about the Tirupati Tirumala board. They look after religious affairs.
Yes.
Now, are we going to say
of the Waqf property?
How no, hang on. Those are the people, sir. They are management committees of those. Hang on. The management committees of the mosques, etc., are different from the Waqf board. What is wrong with these people? This is the reason, viewers, I am telling you that issues are being deliberately blurred to incite Muslims. Please, let me bring in Ayyar Mitra here on this point. Can you please explain to this gentleman the difference between a board that looks after temples' religious affairs? We are not talking about the HRNC. Excuse me. Manages, no. No, please, sir. Please. No, please. Listen to me. There is a distinction.
You want to fool the nation.
Is it not true, sir, that the Waqf Act is set up by Parliament? What is wrong with you? Was the Tirupati board set up by Parliament? No.
Rahul,
Ayyar Mitra, can you please explain to this gentleman?
Rahul, is any Hindu objecting to the classification, categorization and computerization of Tirumala records? Nobody is. Is any Hindu objecting to the classification, categorization or computerization of any of the lands held by the Tirupati Devasthanam?
In 1954 it was allowed, right up till 1995.
His entire game
in 1995, someone does you a big favor.
You have to understand, Rahul, this man is giving a very insidious this thing. For him, he brought up the Sambal issue. He now values the mosque itself over the teachings of the Prophet and the Quran. He is committing shirk. He is a mushrik. He has committed the greatest sin in Islam.
This is the problem. 1 second. Tuin Sinha, would you like to respond on this duplicity question?
You know, No. First of all, it's too rich of Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary to say why are Muslims not being included in the Tirumala board. He should, Hindu boards have always been taken for a ride and taken casually by India Alliance politicians. A couple of years ago, the Tarakeshwar board, the chairman of the Tarakeshwar board was a Muslim appointed by Mamta Banerjee. We have seen Azam Khan, preside over the management of the Kumbh Mela, Mahakumbh in 2013, and we saw how horrific it was. So please don't, and like I explained at the very start, and which you have also done, there is no comparison between temple management, which is a purely religious affair, and property management, which is primarily the task of the Waqf board, which is a statutory body.
Temporal and sacred.
If he cannot comprehend it, if he cannot comprehend.
Kausar, let me bring in Kausar Jahan. Kausar Jahan represents, she's the chairman of a very vital committee in Delhi, viewers. And I want to go across to her. She's also a Muslim lady. Ms. Jahan, I want to ask you, Union Home Minister says amendment.
Member of the BJP.
So it doesn't matter. She's been appointed. She's a Muslim. Is it a crime for a Muslim to be a member of any political party? Do you want such an apartheid? Are you like the DMK that says if a Hindu wears a tilak, don't come and wants to be part of our cadre, don't do that? Take off your tilak? What are you trying? You are talking about Hindu Pakistan, sir. You are creating it here.
123 properties.
No, what is the big deal if a Muslim is? No, hang on. What is the big deal if the Muslim is being appointed by the BJP or she's a member of the BJP? What difference does it make?
Under her tenure,
what difference does it make? How dare you, sir, try to divide this country by now stigmatizing Muslims?
Out here in the channel.
I mean, come on.
I am not against her.
Home Minister, of course you are against her. What did you just call her? Tomorrow you'll call her a Sanghi. She's chairperson of the Delhi Hajj Committee, viewers.
She is the stooge of the BJP government.
Stooge of the BJP. So what do you want her to be lynched?
I never said that.
Well, you're implying that, right? For you it's a crime.
Properties being
one second. Viewers, look at these people. Every day they say that the BJP should be giving tickets to Muslims. They should be giving cabinet posts to Muslims. Because the BJP will not be considered. No, hang on. Every day these people say this. That the BJP is not considered an inclusive party because it doesn't give tickets to Muslims. That it doesn't give cabinet berths to Muslims. Here the BJP empowers a Muslim woman and they all say that she's a stooge.
How disrespectful. He should
First
apologize.
of all, forget the disrespect. How two-faced. How duplicitous.
That is their general attitude.
Gosh, how sick can some people be, viewers?
There are no female in the Waqf board. We have got one Reshma.
No, I'm going to bring her in, please. She can speak for herself. Union Home Minister says amendment will end appeasement politics. Kausar Jahan, how did Waqf Act 1995 become a vehicle for appeasement? Can you please explain to these gentlemen here? We have a problem, by the way, with you joining the BJP.
Well, about what Honorable HM, Mr. Amit Shah Sahab, what he said, I think I totally agree with him. Because right now, presently, if you see what the situation of the Waqf properties is, that it is being controlled by a certain handful of people who have, I would say, vested interests, and who are just deliberate attempt is being made to provoke people on communal lines to protect those vested interests. So what he says is, yes, is absolutely correct, and I fully agree with him.
No, so many are saying on this panel and outside that after this, Muslim lands will be looted by the government. How do you react to this, ma'am? Are you scared of that?
A misleading campaign is being led by the opposition, to mobilize fundamentalist forces. And in fact, I would say that in Hindi, if I can say, कि किसी का हक छीना नहीं जा रहा है, बल्कि उनको हक दिलवाया जा रहा है. The actual beneficiaries of the Muslim community, or I would say the underprivileged, they will be given their right. What at present, what the situation is, that it is not being given to them because it is being controlled by, as I said, by a bunch of people who have their own vested interests. This is not interfering with any religious practice or religious institution, because I would say this is for the welfare of the community, and it is again, I would repeat, it is to make sure that the benefits of the Waqf assets or the properties reach the common Muslims.
Well, viewers, we've always said there should be unity in diversity. The time has come. You know, they compare India constantly with becoming some sort of a Hindu Pakistan. In Pakistan, viewers, the communities that the Modi government wants to empower, some of them, the sects, are not even regarded as Muslims. They are persecuted. Aga Khanis, etc. It will be those sects who will get their due because of this amendment. In fact, if anything, viewers, the ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam will be respected in our land. We are anything but Pakistan. And there are people here who want to compare your country with that. I don't even know what to say. Viewers, let's move on. Because I'll tell you, they cried wolf when the NDA piloted and passed the Triple Talaq bill in the first term. They said that it was an instrument to jail and lock up Muslim men. As we know, their dire claims have flopped. Millions of Muslim women are today thanking the Modi government. They cried wolf when the Modi government passed the CA. They claimed that Indian Muslims would lose their citizenship. They launched protests that led to riots. They took innocent lives. As we know, their propaganda has flopped. No Indian Muslim has lost his or her citizenship. Now the same trope is being trundled out. As the Waqf Amendment Bill is looking set to be passed by the Lok Sabha, the opposition has begun to fear-monger again. Now it is saying that once the bill becomes an act of parliament, it will be used to snatch land away from Muslims. But is this true? Let's go across to two guests tonight who will put this in perspective. Let them battle it out, viewers, for you. Pay attention. Let's go straight across. We are joined by a very influential guest and a very informed voice on this entire issue. Former Union Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi. नकवी साहब, कहा जा रहा है कि एक बहुत बड़ा अत्याचार हो रहा है मुसलमान समाज पर. इस पे आपकी क्या टिप्पणी है?
देखिए राहुल जी, कुछ लोग जो है दे आर ट्राइंग टू प्रोजेक्ट द वक्फ एक्ट इज द एक्ट ऑफ द गॉड. एक्ट ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट की जगह एक्ट ऑफ गॉड बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. पार्लियामेंट के एक्ट के बजाय जो है वो परवरदिगार का जो है वो एक्ट बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. बताने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ये आसमानी किताब है, इसमें कोई रिव्यू नहीं हो सकता, रिफॉर्म नहीं हो सकता. इस तरह का जो लोग कन्फ्यूज़न क्रिएट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो न तो वक्फ के हितैषी हैं, न ही जो है वो मुसलमानों के हितैषी हैं, बल्कि जो है वो उनकी कोशिश है कि वक्फ माफियाओं का राज चलता रहे और जो उनकी असंवैधानिक अराजकता है, उद्दंडता है, जो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एनार्की है, वो जो है वो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल हायरार्की के फ्रेमवर्क में ना आ पाए. लेकिन मैं मानता हूँ कि अमृतकाल चल रहा है, उसमें जो ये मंथन चल रहा है उससे अमृत ज़रूर निकलेगा.
मगर ओवैसी साहब ने, वारिस पठान साहब जो उनके स्पोक्स पर्सन हैं, वो सब कहते हैं, और मैं उन स्पेसिफिकली कोट करता हूँ कि इस संशोधन के ज़रिए आप मुसलमानों के लैंड, उनके मस्जिद लूट लेंगे. ये उनकी टिप्पणी है. आप एकदम इस पे एक
देखिए
एग्जैक्ट रिस्पांस दीजिए.
देखिए कुछ लोग जो है वो कम्युनलिज्म के कुएं से कॉन्स्पिरेसी का काकरोच ढूंढने के हिस्ट्री शीटर लोग हो गए हैं और वो कोशिश करते हैं कि कम्युनलिज्म के कुएं से कॉन्स्पिरेसी का काकरोच ढूंढो और देश में जो है वो कंट्री में जो है वो कन्फ्यूज़न क्रिएट करो, कन्फ्लिक्ट क्रिएट करने की कोशिश करो, डिवीज़न करने की कोशिश करो. ये कोशिश है. एक चीज़ क्लियर करना चाहते हैं कि जितनी भी वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज़ हैं, उन वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज़ जो है वो जो आज की तारीख में किसी न किसी तरीके से वक्फ माफियाओं के कंट्रोल में है, वो जो है वो जो अथराइज्ड डिस्ट्रिक्ट सिस्टम है या जो स्टेट का सिस्टम है उसके देखरेख में होगा और वो वक्फ सिस्टम की बेहतरी के लिए होगा. एक भी लगभग 7 लाख से इर्द गिर्द जो है वो मस्जिद है, दरगाह है, इमाम बाड़े हैं, और भी जो ईदगाहें और भी जो धार्मिक स्थल हैं जो वक्फ के जो के अंदर रजिस्टर्ड हैं, उसमें कुछ कंट्रोवर्शियल भी हैं। तो जो नॉन कंट्रोवर्शियल हैं वो वैसे ही रहेंगे, उसमें कोई सरकार को कोई इतनी इच्छा नहीं है, कोई शौक नहीं है कि वो जो है उस पर अपना कब्जा करे। हाँ, ये बात सही है कि वो जो कब्जे हैं वक्फ माफियाओं के, उससे उसको मुक्त कराना भी जो सरकार है उसकी जिम्मेदारी है।
इजाज़त दीजिए मुझे नकवी साहब, वारिस पठान साहब भी जुड़ गए हमारे साथ, मैं उनसे भी सुनना चाहता हूं। वारिस पठान भाई, नकवी साहब वो भी हमारे साथ हैं, फॉर्मर माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर, खुद भी एक मुसलमान हैं। वो कह रहे हैं कि आप लोग, you are deliberately trying to incite Muslims, that you are trying to deliberately fear monger. On what basis are you saying that this particular law will lead to the usurpation of mosques, etc.?
Well, Rahul, the Waqf Amendment Bill which is brought by the Modi government is per se unconstitutional. It is violation of Article 14, 24, 25, 26 of the Constitution, and we outrightly reject this bill. The reason being, see, there are Hindu Endowment Board where you won't allow any Muslims to interfere into it. So why do the government wants to send some non-Muslims into a Waqf board? There is a Waqf board, there is a Waqf tribunal. That is why we say the intentions of the BJP government are mala fide. They want to usurp our property which belongs to our Muslim community, which is given as a charity. This property belongs to Allah. Our people have given that, okay, for the benefit of our poor, for the widows, for the orphanages. It is for their benefit. On the Waqf land we have got mosques, we have got our graveyards, we have got orphanages, but the intention of the BJP government is usurp the property. Okay. And why do I say so, Rahul? Say Muslim Personal Law Board has taken out a website wherein crores of people, crores of Muslims have registered the objection. So if the Muslims of the country do not want this law, why does Modi is intending to get this? If there are so many opposition parties, they don't want to get this.
Many Muslims are also wanting this law.
It is inconstitutional. Why does Modi want to get this?
Okay, let me bring in
there are certain Muslims. See, हमारी कौम में भी Rahul, just 10 seconds I will finish. राहुल, हमारी कौम में भी कुछ मीर सादिक और मीर जाफर लोग हैं जो मोदी बीजेपी के तलवे चाटते हैं। वो चाहते नहीं है खुद के छोटे से मफाद के लिए वो इस बिल का समर्थन कर रहे हैं, मगर देश का मुसलमान इनको कभी माफ नहीं करेगा। और मोदी को कब से मुसलमान की फिक्र होने लग गई? कितने पार्लियामेंट को बना दिया मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, कितने को एमएलए का टिकट दे दिया। आज मुख्तार अब्बास नकवी के बाद कोई कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर नहीं है, बताइए मेरे को।
मैं उनको लाना चाह रहा हूं,
कौन है?
उनकी बात सुनिए। ऐसे नहीं कहना, ऐसे नहीं। पठान साहब, लेट्स नॉट बी रूड. Let's not be rude. We are living in a civilized society. Please, that's not fair.
I'm not telling him.
No.
I'm not telling him.
Okay, good. That I'm glad you have clarified. 1 minute. Let me bring in Naqvi Saab. Naqvi Saab, ये कह रहे हैं कि non-Muslims को
clear. I say, Rahul, just allow me 10 seconds. Let me clarify, Rahul. Just 10 seconds. This will give a wrong message, Rahul. Just let me clarify. I say, today, after the independence, that there is not a single cabinet minister in the Modi government. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi Saab was there. After him, who is the cabinet minister in the Modi government? Tell me. Today, there is not a single cabinet minister in Modi government. From Mukhtar Saab, मेरी बात से अगर सहमत है तो बताइए। आज की तारीख में कोई आपके बाद में कोई एक भी मिनिस्टर आया क्या मुसलमान? चलिए बताइए, मेरी बात का जवाब दीजिए।
अगर वो इशू नहीं है आज का, वो इशू नहीं है। नकवी साहब, मैं आपसे एक मिनट रुकिए। पठान साहब, 1 मिनट हो गया, 1 सेकंड। नकवी साहब, सिंपल क्वेश्चन ये है, इनके मन में आशंका इसलिए पैदा हो रही है क्योंकि एक नॉन मुस्लिम या 2 नॉन मुस्लिम बैठेंगे वक्फ बोर्ड पे, इसकी वजह से ये कह रहे हैं कि ये एक बैकडोर एंट्री है। तो इस पे आप थोड़ा जवाब दीजिएगा संदर्भ में।
देखिए राहुल जी, जब हमारा देश का बंटवारा हुआ तो उस वक्त करोड़ों की संख्या में हिंदू जो है वो पाकिस्तान से हिंदुस्तान आए, और करोड़ों की तादाद में ही मुसलमान जो है वो हिंदुस्तान से पाकिस्तान गए। और जो यहाँ से पाकिस्तान गए मुसलमान, वो अपनी जो भी जायदाद वगैरह थी वो कुछ छोड़ करके गए। वहाँ से जो आए उन्होंने भी जो है अपनी सारे की ज़मीन जायदाद छोड़ करके यहाँ आए। जो यहाँ से वहाँ गए उनको लगभग सभी लोगों को, जो मुसलमान थे, उनको वो ज़मीनें कि वहाँ के हिंदू छोड़ के आए थे, वो बहुत बड़ी तादाद में उसके वो आज मालिक है। जो वहाँ से हिंदू छोड़ के यहाँ आए, वहाँ पर उस वक्त एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने जो भी उनको जहाँ ठहराया, वो आज भी उसके जो है न तो किराएदार हैं, न तो उसके जो है वो मालिक है, बल्कि एक अनऑथराइज ऑक्यूपेंट के तौर से उनको ट्रीट किया था। इसलिए दे आर द बिगेस्ट स्टेक, दे आर वन ऑफ द स्टेक होल्डर इन दिस प्रेजेंट वक्फ सिस्टम। इसलिए इस कंफ्यूजन को, इस कन्फ्लिक्ट को करेक्ट करना भी ज़रूरी है। इसमें कोई किसी तरह का कोई कब्जा नहीं करेगा, किसी को ज़रूरत भी नहीं कब्जा करने की, और सरकार के पास यही काम है क्या कि वो मस्जिदों को और दरगाहों को और ईदगाहों को कोई पे अपना कब्जा करे। देखिए ये जो पूरा जो एक सिस्टम है, ऐसा तो है नहीं कि वक्फ का जो रिफॉर्म हो रहा है, ये जो अमेंडमेंट हो रहा है पहली बार हो रहा है। इससे पहले भी 4-4, 5-5 बार हुए हैं, और मैं खुद जो ज्वाइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी का चेयरमैन रहा हूँ, उस वक्त भी तमाम तरह के जो है एक रिकमेंडेशंस किए थे। उसके कुछ सरकार ने, उस वक्त कांग्रेस पार्टी ने कुछ माना था, कुछ नहीं माना था, ये सारी चीज़ें हैं। लेकिन मैं उसको मानता हूँ कि किसी को भी जो है वो कम्युनलिज्म के कुएं से कॉन्स्पिरेसी का कॉकरोच निकालने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, न किसी को कन्फ्यूज़न क्रिएट करने की ज़रूरत है, न तो कम्युनिटी में कन्फ्लिक्ट करने की ज़रूरत है।
ओके, पठान साहब का एक सवाल है आपके लिए। यस
मुख्तार साहब, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मुख्तार साहब, मैं आपसे सवाल करना चाहूँगा। मुख्तार साहब, आपने कहा कि वक्फ के ऊपर काफ़ी ज़मीनों के ऊपर माफिया बैठ गया है, तो आप समझिए मेरी बात को मुख्तार साहब, क्या 11 साल से बीजेपी की सरकार सत्ता में, इनकी जवाबदारी नहीं थी? अगर माफिया है तो उसको उठा के फेंक देते ना। बात नंबर 2 मुख्तार साहब, आपके और शाहनवाज हुसैन साहब के बाद प्रेजेंटली आज एक भी मुझे बताइए बीजेपी की सरकार में कोई मुसलमान मंत्री है क्या?
सर वो सवाल आप कहां से कहां चले जा रहे हैं?
नहीं होगा
साहब, दिस इज इररिलेवेंट क्वेश्चन। मुझे जवाब दो है कि क्यों नहीं बनाते? देयर आर अदर माइनॉरिटीज, देयर आर अदर माइनॉरिटीज, देयर इज अ सिख माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर, देयर आर क्रिश्चियन मेंबर्स इन कैबिनेट। मगर प्लीज इसकी फिक्र क्यों नहीं करते? हिंदू मुस्लिम ऑल द टाइम। प्लीज मिस्टर पठान, have come in. No, you come on the waqf. No, what is your point that you are making?
Am I going against your agenda?
कैबिनेट में मुसलमान नहीं है, नहीं है। What is this? Yes.
नहीं है। देखिए मैं राहुल जी, मैं वारिस साहब इज द वेरी, राहुल साहब इज द वेरी काबिल शख्सियत। एज फार एज द रिप्रेजेंटेशन इन द पार्लियामेंट, रिप्रेजेंटेशन इन द गवर्नमेंट इज कंसर्न, if you want to debate or discussion on this issue, definitely I love to participate in this. But this issue is completely the Waqf amendment issue. And the Waqf Act is the act of Parliament, and the responsibility of the Parliament, constitutional responsibility of the Parliament to correct all the confusion, all type of the bad things which was going on in the name of the Waqf system. तो इसलिए जो है वो अगर जो एक अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एनार्की है उसको कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल हायरार्की के फ्रेमवर्क में लाने के लिए ये चीज़ हो रही है, तो मुझे लगता है कि इस पर किसी को भी जो है वो भय भ्रम पैदा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ना करना चाहिए। क्योंकि हम कहते हैं ना हम सफ़र न किसी हम नशी से निकलेगा, हमारे पाँव का कांटा हम ही से निकलेगा। इसलिए ये पार्लियामेंट का ही एक्ट, पार्लियामेंट का एक्ट है, पार्लियामेंट ही इसको करेक्ट करेगी और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली करेक्ट होगा, अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल नहीं होगा।
Well, we'll leave it at this, viewers. This will play out as a ding-dong battle. Let me tell you, Mr. Pathan and company will hit the streets next, but that's fine. Our democracy is resilient, our democracy is strong. It is Parliament that has spoken, viewers, today against appeasement politics that privileges one faith over the other. Thank you, Mr. Pathan. Thank you, Mr. Naqvi. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Naqvi sir.
The baton of power set to shift, Bharat's youth will drive the next wave of change. The biggest leaders and policymakers, global trendsetters, business icons, and entrepreneurs will come together to inspire the next generation of change makers. Don't miss your chance to witness it all live. Rising Bharat Summit 2025. Presented by